birthday, happy belated birthdays in the past, happy future birthdays in the future. My name is Lime Green, and welcome to the Out of Time podcast, the final episode of The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. What is the Out of Time podcast? It's where you tell me to play games I've never played before. This time being The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. Last time, we did all of the Canyon and the Stone Tower Temple. The Stone Tower Temple was kind of like the precursor to the Divine Beast. You had to flip the tower upside down and then flip it right side up and flip it upside down and keep doing that over and over. Kind of a cool concept for the N64. I didn't even know the N64 could do something like that. They also gave us light arrows. Kind of weird how they were so weak, but alright. You know, I'm used to the light arrows in Wind Waker, how they just one-shot everything. But, you know, we ain't talking about last episode. Go watch last episode if you want to talk about Ikana Canyon. We're talking about after Ikana Canyon stuff. So, the two main quests I wanted to do was the business scrubs, because the one was like, I want to go live in Ikana Canyon. And then you'd go through all that, and then they just give you a huge rupee. And I'm like, well, cool, but I don't think I really have anything to buy at this point in the game. You know, thanks. And the other one was the Anju and Cafe quest. Cafe was going to Ikana Canyon, and you finally find him hiding behind a rock. He's waning. You have to wait with him for Sakon, the sword guy who's trying to steal my sword, remember? And then you wait, and he sneaks up. He's got a little hideout behind a rock. And you guys finally enter, and it's like this high-tech Bruce Wayne lair. I guess another callback for last episode when we fought Batman. And the sun's mask is sitting on like a pedestal, and Cafe reaches for it, and all of a sudden like a security alarm goes off, and Cafe's like, oh man, we have to do this block puzzle, we have to do all this crazy stuff. So you play as Cafe for a portion of this, which is, I wasn't even expecting that. I wasn't. Since when do you play as other characters in Zelda games? That's crazy. And you like switch between the two, Link slashing the monsters and Cafe like pushing blocks. That's crazy, that's cool, that's, I almost want to say innovative for Zelda. And you have to like solve all these puzzles and rooms before the sun mask drops down into like a chute. You do that, and then you save it, and then Cafe's like, alright, I have to go back like home or whatever. And then you're like, where is he going? You go back to Anju, and Anju's like all sad, crying. And then in the last 2 minutes, Cafe comes in, and they're like, if we put our masks together, then we create the couple's mask. And you're like, oh, but the moon's still falling. And then they're like, we will face the moon together as one. And it's like so sad. And yeah, it's a really cute, probably one of the best side quests in the game. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So those are the two main quests I wanted to get out of the way, tackle, and then we jump into the actual quest. you wait until the third day, you climb on top of the clock tower, and then Tail says swamp, mountain, ocean, canyon. Tattle's like, I won't let things go the way you expect to. And even if they come, they wouldn't be able to handle me, Skull Kid says. And he floats there menacingly. And you can't bring any items out to hurt him. But if you play the Oath to Order, the giants phase into existence. Catch the moon. And Tattle and Tail talk about it, how it was really Majora's Mask's fault, not Skull Kid's. And then the mask fuses with like the moon. That's kind of weird. Weird energy is left behind, and we enter it to get taken to like Xenoblade 2 world. And then all like the bosses' masks are there. People running around with boss masks, and they're like, I want to play hide and seek. Now this part of the game is like crazy. You think you're they say hide and seek, but it's not hide and seek. You're doing like mini games, and you're giving up your masks. And the first time through, you're like, alright, let's do a little Deku glide. And you do it. And you glide around. It's not that hard. And you get to the end, and you're like, alright, what a fun minigame that was. And then you go to the other one, and it's like, Zora, pick a tunnel. You know, go through, and there's nice little chests at the end. And it's like, Goron roll. And that's like the most excruciatingly terrible thing ever, where you have to roll, hit these chests and bounce off, and narrow ledges. I can't use enough terms to describe this. And like really thin ledges and platforms. And then it turns out you have to, there's little guys at the end. Not at the end, but like off to the side. And you need to give your masks to these people as well. So you need to go back into Deku Glide and find this guy who you can give your mask to. And then go back into Goron, what I call it, Goron roll, and then go off to like this little area, off this little walkway, and that took me so long, at least like half an hour to do. And then Zora, pick a tunnel, because that's what you're doing. It's like 3 choices, and if you pick wrong, then you gotta start again. And then there's gates closing out. That was horrifying. And then when you finally give up all your masks, except for the main 3, which I'm not sure why you can't give them up, even after you complete these. Skull Kid wearing the Majora's Mask, I guess, says good guys versus bad guys, and he gives you Fierce Deity Mask. Now, I know all the, I guess, online discourse around this. It's like, whoa, this is the strongest form Link has ever created by mankind. I've never really thought about like who this is. Like recently I looked up a bit about it, and then people were like, who is this? And I'm like, that is a good question. Like, because Goron Link and Deku Link and Zora Link are people. Let me know in the comments if who you think Fierce Deity Link is. So then Majora's Mask itself fights you. And it's just a tentacle monster. And Tattle's like, remember your battles. And then the other boss masks come down and they get broken. And then when you put Fierce Deity mask on, you're like, alright. Well, first off, I thought you're like invulnerable, invincible. You are not, but you take like, I want to say reduced damage, because I only took like half of a heart, or a fourth of a heart, with some hits. But you can shoot like waves of lasers, which cost magic damage, or magic points, whatever. So I just did that the whole fight, and then he like evolves into like a little spider guy. And then I instantly destroyed that. And then he turned into slimy arms, I wrote down. And then I instantly demolished that. I wonder how hard this is if you don't have the Fierce Deity mask. And I beat that. And then, honestly, if they gave Majora's Mask more forms, I feel like this would have been a good fight. But I feel like the final fight was a little too easy. I don't know. Then the moon melts, which I feel like causes or leads to a bunch of more problems down the road. And a rainbow appears, and the giants still think of Skull Kid as a friend. And Skull Kid remembers the events that happened in Ocarina of Time, which I thought was interesting, because a lot of people do not. The Majora's Mask is no longer evil now, after I like blasted it apart. And the mask salesman gets the mask back, and then he fades away. That's so weird. And Skull Kid says, "We have gotten what we were after." What was he after? I'm not sure. Tattle thanks Link. And then all of a sudden there's Anju and Cafe. They're having a wedding, and Tinkle is there showering them with confetti. I thought that was funny. And Link and Epona are in the forest, passing by a stump with Skull Kid and Link carved into it. And kind of like how Skull Kid carved his image with Tattle and Tail, I think, earlier on. A nice little callback to that. And that's Majora's Mask. What did I think of that? I thought it would honestly be more like Ocarina of Time. People always talk about Majora's Mask and the fast turnaround. I thought it would be a lot shorter. And honestly, it's a really meaty game. It's got a lot of elements I didn't even know were there. A lot of horror, a lot of, I don't know, a lot of transformation. I think I would have liked a lot of the masks if they would transform you, like how the Zora, Goron, and Deku transform you completely. Like how the postman hat, you just put it on and you're a postman now. I don't know. The side quests, I feel I grew to appreciate them more as, the game went on. At first, the game seems very daunting with the time limit and all that. But then, especially when you can slow down time, you figure out, it's like, oh, now I'm kind of in control. But overall, pretty good game. Yeah. I'm already kind of looking into doing more stuff with Majora's Mask. That's gonna be your teaser. But let me know in the comments. What do you think of Majora's Mask? Do you like it more than Ocarina of Time? Is it still one of those underrated gems of Zelda? I don't know, but a couple of years ago it was. Is it still? Let me know all that, and I'll see you next time when we'll be playing something else. I don't even know what it'll be. Until then, see you later.